sew. I really like to sew. It's something that I've been doing ever since kindergarten, around that time. And I really like doing it, so I've been continuing doing it since I was in kindergarten, obviously. And then, so I'm making a patchwork elephant, or I just have this already made. And then I also have PowerPoint on how I made it, because this was also my SAE project. And so these are really easy to make, in my opinion, just because I've made 6 of them already. This is my 6th. And the idea that I got for them is on the back of this polyfill bag. I don't know how well you guys can see it. Sorry, my leg. Is a pattern for an elephant. And so, yeah, I was just kind of dinking around in our sewing room and I found it and I thought, hey, that's cool. We got a bunch of extra fabric. I'm gonna make it. So, if you have extra fabric, a sewing machine, embroidery needles, embroidery floss, and all of the rest of this crap that I have up here, you're able to make it. So yeah, I've been sewing since I was little, as I said before. So, now let's move into the materials. The first thing you need to do is obviously get all of your materials ready. And so I have all of my fabrics. I have a barnwood pattern fabric. I have a black satin. And then I just have a plain black fabric that I don't remember what that one is. And then I have my scissors. I have 4 scissors. So I am a little extra when it comes to scissors. I have my fabric scissors, which are really nice and heavy duty. I've got my thread scissors, which are just ones that I can basically use to cut fabric with, but I choose not to. I've got my roller, which if I had my giant pad, I have a giant cutting pad that I use when I use this, because you don't want to wreck your tables, although I've done that so many times already, that doesn't matter. So when I was cutting this out, you just take, roll it, and it's really nice because you can get it through one swipe most of the time. Then I have this tiny scissor, which actually came in this little pack, and I use it for my embroidery floss. So now that you got your scissors, you're going to need the pattern. So again, the pattern was on the back of a plastic bag. So I taped it to a window, and then I traced it onto paper. So I used like 3 sheets of paper to trace out a pattern. You're going to need an embroidery hoop when you're doing the eyes, just because I did 5 of them without the hoop, and then I did 1 with the hoop, and I prefer to have the hoop with me. Obviously, you're going to need polyfill to stuff your elephant. You're going to need your pins. They're going to be your best friend. Then I have my 2 embroidery needles, just right here. Obviously, you're going to have your thread. I use white thread and I use black thread depending on what the fabric is. So this one I used white thread for, but the other ones that I did, I used black thread, just because it blended nicer with the fabric when it comes to exposed parts like the ear and the butt. Also, I am a clumsy person. So when I was using my sewing machine the first time, I stabbed my finger with a needle. So if you're me, you have Band-Aids on hand and you have a roll of medical tape. And then also because I get easily bored, I have my phone, I'm playing music, I'm watching a movie, a snack. Again, I get easily bored, I wander off, grab a snack. I also have some tea, because I am a really bad tea addict. So now that I've gone over the materials, we're going to go over the steps. You would be so kind. Let's do step back. So, next. So those next. So this is basically what I started out with. I took my box of fabrics dumped it out on a bed, picked what I wanted, got my elephant pattern. Next, please. Dante. Okay, so after that, I took the fabrics that I wanted, and since these are patchwork elephants, I had to sew them together. So this was actually cut off from that elephant. So I just have 2 fabrics sewn together, nice and tight. And then, yes, nice. So then I took and I cut out the elephants after I had sewed it together. And then that was embroidering the eye. So as you can see there, I didn't use the hoop, and I severely regret it. And it's just nice using the hoop because with the hoop, it keeps it nice and stable. Okay, then 6 and 8 to the end weren't photographed because I'm an idiot and I was just zooming through it. So basically what those steps were, it was I took and I cut out the ears and I sewed them together and then I stuffed them. And then before I even sewed the front part to the back part, I made sure I sewed on the ear, just because it's really hard to do that once you have like an elephant done, because I made that mistake with one of them. Then you take and you can put these, so the fabrics are like this, and then you sew it together, and then you can flip it, stuff it. I like to stuff the trunk and the feet first, just because they're the hardest part to stuff. And as you can see, I didn't stuff the full trunk because I was too lazy and it was too hard, just because this is an awkward trunk that I sewed. So yeah, and then I stuffed the rest of the body, and then you sew the butt shut. The reason why I call this the butt is it's literally the butt of an elephant. So now that you've made your elephant, you can give them to whoever you made them for. I made these for my cousins who were 4, 4, 2, 1, and 1. So I have 5 cousins, that's why I made 5. So it's really easy to entertain them. Holy crap, they get entertained over a ball of yarn. And so it was still nice to see them, like, because I gave them these at Easter. Just seeing them running around the house with them was actually pretty cool. And so now that you know how to make a patchwork elephant, I hope you go and try and make one yourself. And yeah, thank you for listening to my speech.